Hello, guys. How you doing? And welcome to your Sunday show. I went to bed last night. It's fine. Woke up this morning. I had a lump on my cheek right here. So I went into the doctor, this morning, and it's an infected tooth, one of the big tooth in back, So he put me on antibiotics anyway. Hopefully that'll heal up in a couple days, so I don't look like the Godfather anymore. Anyway, so let's talk about the European Union. I mean, you know what we're facing? We're facing, and I'm not talking 5-10 years from now. I'm talking imminently. We are facing a breaking apart of the European Union. The European Union and the Euro is going to go the way of the Goonie bird. It can't go anywhere else but. It was poorly put together to begin with. Especially monetarily speaking, the euro, the foundation of the euro itself, is all relying upon Germany as the piggy bank for the euro. And these countries that are under this oppressive, I'm going to call it oppressive regime, they're balking at it. Look at Italy right now, is balking at the European Union. They're not following the rules laid out. They will not go under more austerity. They don't want more austerity. They've had austerity up to here. It's slowed down to their economy. This is the only answer that the European Union has to these pigs countries. But there's more. There's more to all of this. If we take a look here, let's take a look at this article. Let's turn the charts on. And what we can see is they're saying here that the brick exit, it's just a sideshow. Well, it's not really. It's not a sideshow. It is a huge problem. And if they have a hard brick exit, it's going to affect the world economy. And it's going to affect Britain terribly. And more as the days pass, it's looking like we are going to have a hard brick exit. That's what it looks like. But what they're doing is they're saying it's just a sideshow. In other words, they are saying it's not the biggest issue. There's bigger issues. There's bigger problems here. It says a bigger danger for the European Union looms from the east. Hungary, Poland, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, they threaten the body of the politic of the European Union. And so these countries, some of them were former Soviet Union countries. They've been working within the confines and they're member states of the European Union too, and they're not talked about so much. But they have the same feelings, the same sentiment is running there that's running in Italy right now. But Italy is the old saying. It used to come back from the time when they had horses and buggies, and they had those big buggy wheels on the back of the, you had like a carriage, and you had the big wooden wheels. They say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, back in those days, the wheels were made out of wood, and the bearings they were sitting on, and they used to squeak if they didn't get enough grease. And so the squeaky wheel, in other words, the one that makes the most noise, gets the grease. Well, right now, Italy's making the most noise by far. And so we're not noticing Hungary, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia. We're not noticing that so much yet. But when the European Union starts to fall apart, and it's going to, because not only the people in Great Britain want to leave, but there's discontent starting to form all through the European Union. We see Italy, but we also see Spain. Spain has a little country attached to it called Catalonia. This could blow up as a powder keg, Catalonia and Spain. We have Britain leaving the great European Union without making a deal-less leave of the European Union. It's looking more and more like that because Theresa May, I almost said Margaret Thatcher, Theresa May, she's got this deal. She's trying everything that she can under the sun to try to get this deal through. She was having trouble with Spain, but they got that settled, so now they act like, hey, you know what, we got the deal. The deal's going through and everything, and everybody out there is going, woo, gee, the deal's passing through. Well, guess what, guys? She's got to get it through Parliament. And from what I've heard so far, fat chance she's going to get that deal through Parliament. So what happens then? The deal doesn't go through Parliament. The most likely outcome of that is a government change that's going to be over for May. And somebody else is going to step in. What will their policy be? Will probably be the mandate of the deal to try to not go back to Brussels, because Brussels has already said, the bureaucrats in Brussels have already said, hey, you know what? If you don't go with May's deal, there's no further deal. That's it. Either take it or leave it. Either you take May's deal, Theresa May's deal, or there's no further deal. And we're rapidly approaching the deadline for this, which is sometime in March. That time's going to go really fast, by the way. It's only a few months away. And this deal that she came up with the European Union, it shows you how bad that they want it. Brussels, the boys in Brussels, because this deal is, I haven't read the exact details of the deal, but I can just imagine, because I know how crooked these guys are in Brussels, and if they're so hot on for this deal, I can just imagine how bad this deal must actually be. You know? Because they're a bunch of crooks. They're all a bunch of crooks. So anyway, she wants to get this deal through big time, but it's going to get blocked by Parliament. So then it's probably going to go to a no-confidence vote in the government or whatever, and then goodbye Theresa May. She's going to be out of there. A new guy's going to come in, probably a man, more than likely. I mean, I'm not saying that for sure, but that's generally politicians, about 70% of them are men, so there's probably a 70% chance that it's going to be a man that's coming into office next on her heels, and he's probably going to be of negative toward this deal right off the get-go. They don't really have a plan B. Plan B is like, what? What plan B? What plan B? There is no plan B. Great Britain leaves the European Union in about 4 months from now with no deal. That's where we're heading. That's where we're heading, guys. And because this thing's going to get shot down in Parliament. And then we got Italy. Watch the Italian bond yields. When they pass 7% on the Italian bond yields, Italy is going to be in the no-fly zone. You know, Italy is going to be in big trouble. And so then on top of all of this, you know, we got things like Deutsche Bank, which has been slowly creeping down and down and down on its slippery slide to hell. Okay? We've got, quite honestly, right now, Deutsche Bank is like 8 euros. 8 euros, 8.17, or just slightly over 8 euros per share of their stock. Right? That's about the lowest it's ever been. Now, you know, if it slides another point or another 2 points down to 7 or 6, I can't tell you exactly where, but probably around 7 euros or 6 euros. When it gets down around that price, which is not very far away because we're only at 8, she's just going to drop. And it's going to be in all of the newspapers. It's going to be in everything because of the size of Deutsche Bank. And who's out there right now prepared to step into the breach and save Deutsche Bank when she falls like that? Therein lies the problem. Germany doesn't want to bail her out, and there's nobody else. This week, Deutsche Bank has talked about mergers with other banks, but you know what they've done? They went like this: we don't want Deutsche Bank. Basically, they've held their nose. Because they don't want Deutsche Bank. They said, no, thank you. We don't want any merger with Deutsche Bank. Nobody wants to get on board a sinking ship. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the ship is sinking. Anyway, Deutsche Bank is sinking, and it's just a matter of time now. How long can they hold out before their stock slips down to 7 and slips down to 6, and all of a sudden goes down to 4 overnight? You know, and then everybody says, hey, this is a Lehman moment. This is a Lehman moment in the financial system. But then you got Spain. You got Spain, and I didn't mention China. Oh my God, the real estate market in China is starting to roll over. The Chinese economy is rolling over so fast right now. It's just stunning. It's stunning to watch. And it's not gone reported on yet. It's not become a big major news story yet. I say yet, as it's sliding. The reason why is these tariffs that Donald Trump's got in place, you know. Honest to God, they are taking a huge bite out of the Chinese economy. And ultimately, the Chinese economy, when it starts to roll over, is such a big economy. It's almost as big as the United States' economy. The United States and China are like 1 and 2. But Chinese economy is only very slightly behind the United States' economy. When this starts to roll over, it can take the entire world down, just like we're in for such a bad recession, honest to God. And it's not 2020 before it's coming. It looks like now 2019. 2019 is going to be our year of recession. I don't think it's going to really start now in 2018. I think we're going to have a pretty good Christmas. I think we're just stumbling through and getting ready. We're on the verge of it happening. So once we move into 2019, look out, batten down the hatches, guys. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.